Hello everyone, and welcome to another World of Darkness news show from the very cozy Stockholm, which is cozy inside today, I would say. We have a literal snow tornado going on outside. There is basically nothing but snow outside of my window. And on top of that, and I kid you not, just 5 minutes ago when I was preparing for the stream, I heard the sound of an ice cream truck outside. Sweden is a very specific place, but here we are with World of Darkness news, very much on brand, I would say. It's dark and full of snow currently, so I feel it's a very good time for vampires to just, go out unnoticed and completely unbothered by cold. And because of that, we're going to not talk about vampires, at least for the very first half of the stream, where we are going to focus a little bit more on Werewolf today. I have plenty of things from Werewolf, Wraith, and Vampire to share with you guys today, and I hope you will like this episode. Let me give you a very full rundown of what we're planning to do. We're going to start with the interview with Artur who was on the show back in the days, visiting us to talk about writing for Heart of the Forest. He's a writer for the game, and writing is one of the most acclaimed parts of that game, so we're extremely happy with what he came up with as he was writing and creating the story of Białowieża in his game. And so we're going to talk about all of the things which happened in between the release and now, and a lot of things happened, not only with different tales, with their game, and additionally also with Werewolf in general, with Werewolf the Apocalypse Elfblood coming out, and what exactly makes these games similar and what themes can you find in both of them. If you've played Elfblood so far but you haven't played Heart of the Forest, this is going to be a very good introduction to another, I would say. And if you haven't played Elfblood but you did play this game, you are also going to get some info from this stream. We also have 4 copies of the game to give away today, 2 copies for Xbox One and 2 copies for PS4. In particular, let me just triple check this one. This is for people who are watching us live on stream, by the way. For those of you guys who are watching us on YouTube, I'm sorry, but we are giving the codes live to people who are here in the chat with us. So that's one of the little perks that we can gift to our regular audience that comes to watch us live. And when it comes to the codes, I have 1 code for PS4 Europe and 1 for the Americas. So if you are outside of these 2 regions, then we have Xbox codes for you. But if you are in either Europe or Americas, then either North America or South America, then PS4 codes will be for you as well. So we will have 3 giveaways, 1 for Xbox One, 2 codes, 1 for PS4 Europe, 1 for PS4 Americas. And later on, we're going to talk about Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife voice actors who were announced this week throughout Fast Travel Games channels. I have a really nice video for you guys to showcase their vocal strengths. And we are going to also talk about a little bit more vampiric things, following up on the topics we talked about last week, that is World of Darkness stories and the Dev Diary, which we have shared about defining clans. We listened to what you guys wanted from us, which is first of all to share stories somewhere else than Facebook and Instagram, and additionally to post more of the verbs for the clans that we've mentioned in our Dev Diary. So we did both, and we will be sharing that with you guys here first. Okay, so let's get onto it and let's jump into the interview and see whether Artur is waiting for us. Hello, Artur! Let me just make you a little bit louder. Could you say hello again to our audience?
Hello again.
That's wonderful. Hello, Artur. It's super nice to see you here again, especially after a very memorable last stream that we had with you for multiple reasons. First of all, of course, because you as a writer for Heart of the Forest, I'm sure that you heard a lot of praise, not only on our stream, but afterwards and throughout the release of Heart of the Forest, but also because of your lovely cats that we all remember and love. How is your cat doing?
Oh, he's great. He's sleeping right now. Maybe he'll show up later, but you know how it is with cats. You cannot promise anything. So
That's true. So for those of you guys who haven't been on our stream last time, I just want to say that Artur's cat had a very lovely accident behind Artur when we were streaming. But that was lovely, very much on brand, and I really enjoyed that moment on the stream. People are saying that you are apparently much quieter than I am, so I'm going to make sure that this is fixed. And in the meantime, Artur, how have been all of these months for you? We're going to ask in detail about a few of the things in a moment, but for you as the writer, how can you sum up this time from Heart of the Forest release until now?
wow, it's been stressful, as I think a bit, as it always is after the release, because you stop working and you have time to soak in all the feedback that you get to the game, and that's always an interesting moment because I think it's the moment when I can learn what the game is really about, how it's perceived by the players, what is liked, what could be done better. So it's a moment of planning, reflection, and enjoying the feedback, I think. Yeah.
Of course, and I was wondering because your game is very, very much of a branching experience. There's a lot of different ways people can play your game. Was there anything as you were designing and building the branches and afterwards seeing how people were playing your game that surprised you from the designer's perspective?
Uh, well, that's a very good question. Um, I think the most pleasant surprise is that really a large number of players were really invested into exploring the branching story and into finding the outcomes that they liked, and it was nice to see how the community was building around exchanging tips and tricks and solutions, how to, for example, how to find the or join the tribe they liked, or got some ending that they were hunting for. uh, yeah, and so that was really nice that people really enjoyed the replayability that we put into the game, that it really worked. That was a nice surprise because I was not sure if it will be working like in the real life. So
It did. It absolutely did. And speaking of that, I remember watching the achievements that were on Steam after the game released, and seeing how some of the ways that people were playing the game were just more rare than the others. Did it surprise you how some of the outcomes in the game, how some of the endings were achieved by a very little amount of players? Was
uh, yeah, some of it was planned. For example, finding your grandfather's tribe, that was something that we wanted to be heard, and it was really an achievement for some of the players. And what surprised me was that the ending, when you go full rage and you die heroically, is one of the most popular ending. I didn't think it would be the case, but it turned out that people just like, pushing and finding this very, iconic werewolf ending when you achieve something, but at a great cost.
Definitely, and I feel like it was especially interesting in the light also of later on Earthblood, and how both games kind of share some of its story features and ideals, let's say. But we're going to get to that a little bit later. As for now, I also want to ask you about one of your, I think, biggest achievements since the time of the release. Something which might not be known that well for our international audience, but you have been awarded Paszport Polityki, which is one of the very big Polish awards. Could you tell our viewers what exactly it is and what it meant to your team?
Yes, it's one of the most important Polish cultural awards. but it's a mainstream award, not specifically targeted on games, but a wide mainstream cultural award, and we got awarded. It's called for digital culture, and it's it's important for us because it shows that games are perceived by non-players and by like mainstream journalists and creators of culture as something that can also be a commentary to what's happening and an important uh, voice and an important part that creates a culture. So it's not a gamey award, but a cultural award, and that was pretty satisfying, I must say.
Definitely, and I'm very happy that you are also getting this mainstream eyes on your game. Mostly because I think of how ingrained in the real world and in our culture as Polish people your game is. So, what was the reaction from Polish press? Because we, of course, read the reviews, mostly glowing from the international press. But what was the approach of our people to your game? Have you heard something interesting, maybe from people from Białowieża?
Uh, it- we uh, we get some feedback from the journalists and from the players, and one part of the feedback was that they thought it was a great idea to uh, share this very local and very important story with the wider public, because at the same time we were getting feedback from players from outside Poland that they were learning about Białowieża or planning to go there when travel would be possible again. So so that's something that I think we managed to achieve to spread the awareness about the place and its problems. And the other part of the feedback is that we touched some subjects that are hard and maybe not controversial, but not very black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And we received some feedback from people who agreed how we portrayed the plays with people who would have done it differently. So it sparked a discussion, and that was something that we wanted to do something that's relevant and that would be discussed. So I think we managed to achieve that, especially that the problem we wrote about is still relevant, because although the protests that we were inspired by happened 4 years ago, like this week the government decided um, to make plans for even more logging in the area. So um, the protest and the problem is not closed yet. It's still an ongoing topic, and that's something that I personally very that I love in the world of darkness. That it's a way of commenting the world as we see it. So it's a very contemporary and alive thing. I think that's
Definitely.
alive. Yes.
Definitely, and I'm very grateful that you actually shone a little bit more light on this particular issue. And I hope that in the future you might also see some tourist awards once Werewolf the Apocalypse fans are going to travel to Białowieża and Howl at the Moon while they are at the Puszcza, which will be very, very great. And when it comes to the game itself and its release process, since the time when people were able to play it for the first time, it also released on more platforms. So, what is right now the way for people to play Heart the Forest?
Yes, we started on PC and the Mac on Steam and GOG, but right now we've also released on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation and Xbox, so almost every console that there is, and we see that people are playing, that they have been waiting for the game to reach their favorite platform, and we're very happy that we managed to do that. So right now we are just I know, but we are basking in the light of the feedback and the reviews, and we're happy that people that people are playing the game on all the platforms that we released on. So yeah.
Definitely. And I think this is a very good time to start the very first giveaway in the chat. So, people, if you want to receive this game, if you're from Europe, we're going to start with Europe on the topics. If you are from Europe and want to get the code for this game for PS4, I am opening the raffle right now. To participate, you need to write in chat AWOO. AWOO, and once you will write it down, it should roll you into a raffle. So write a woo, and we're going to get you in there. So Artur, when it comes to the next questions, I want to actually touch a little bit upon Earthblood, which released in between the release of your game and now. And I would like to ask you about some similarities in between those two games, because of course we know that on the very genre basis, these games cannot be different, more different. One game is very much of an action-driven game in which you let out your rage in 3D and play as this Kahal Arun, who is destroying Pentec's subsidiary and Endron in the game. While your game is very much more, it starts way more calm, way more quiet, with this kind of a melancholic, nostalgic vibe. You play as Maya, who doesn't have a tribe assigned at the very beginning. And it is, of course, 2D game with very much text-based, with a lot of narrative to it. So how do you think these two genres complement each other in Werewolf?
Yeah. I've always been thinking about these two games as two sides of the same coin, or maybe two very important aspects of Werewolf the Apocalypse as a franchise and as a game world, where Heart of the Forest is more of a calm introduction into the world, and it shows you the lore and invites you to this very intimate personal view of becoming a werewolf, while Earthblood is the part when you have this, bone crunching fun, when you release your war form and just fight for Gaia and against Pentex. So one gives you the introduction, the reason to fight, and the other gives you the adrenaline and the fight itself. So that's and both, I think, are important for the werewolf. It's where there's this part of war and this time of stories by the campfire. So that's how I see it.
Definitely. So when if people played Earthblood but haven't played your game, they might be already aware of some basic themes of Werewolf the Apocalypse, such as ecology, or trying to maintain this balance in between Gaia and the worm, or actually just throw the worm away, because that's better. Kick its ass, of course. We have tribes. We have the mention of auspices as well, and Cairn is visible in Earthblood. What of these aspects of Werewolf the Apocalypse are also existing in Heart of the Forest?
First of all, the theme is very similar, because you are fighting against greed that is destroying the nature, but the setting is very different. So it shows you that the fight against the worm and its minions, that it's going all around the world in very different places and very different settings. And the thing that you can explore as a player in Heart of the Forest are the auspices. In Earthblood, you are Ahrun, the warrior, but Heart of the Forest works more like this, online tests. It observes how you play.
Yes.
And by making very small, subtle choices, you shape your personal Maya, your personal character. And if you play aggressively, she will become Ahrun. And if you are trying to judge everything, she will become Philodox, the judge auspice, or if you're more into spiritual things, she would become Theurg, the shaman auspice, and so on. So it's I think it's more focused on exploring what auspices are, how they work, and having fun in shaping your character. So yeah, that's
Absolutely.
I think that's it. And we have more tribes, different than in Earthblood, so you can get almost whole plate from those two games. I think
Sure, and
almost.
of course, when people play Earthblood and are picking it as their first werewolf game, they might do it because of the rage, because they think that this is the game which is going to let that steam off and let them use the rage in the character and very much tap into this very core aspect of werewolf, where you are just losing it and destroying everything around you. But this aspect is also visible in Heart of the Forest. In Earthblood, it's a little bit like mana. It's something that we can use in order to use our werewolf abilities. How does it exactly work in Heart of the Forest?
Heart of the Forest is more of a narrative game, and it also revolves around rage, because your rage level influence how your character sees the world. So many parts of the text and many available options change depending how much rage do you have. So it's the game. I would say it's about exploring how you feel with your own anger, and how you feel with using this anger to fuel your actions, and what actions are too destructive for you at the moment, and what what can cause you to lose, or to just let it out and rage away. So this is what Heart of the Forest is about exploring how you feel with your own anger, but you do this with in this particular settings with werewolves and with your character, uh, so you can explore this safely, I think. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm very happy that, Heart of Forest is basically broadening players' views on Werewolf the Apocalypse. So for people who enter Werewolf the Apocalypse through Earthblood, I absolutely recommend them to go to Heart of the Forest next, or start with Heart of the Forest, which is going to give people this very broad perspective on the game. And of course, this year we also have, we're developing currently Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition core book. So this is something that we are very much working on. As Werewolf the Apocalypse player, what are your hopes regarding what Werewolf is going to do next, and where Werewolf is going to go from this point?
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited about it, because of course, I cannot discuss it, but I heard some ideas
Of
that are
course.
like circulating, because we need to make the game aligned with what the great vision is. Although it's
Let's not.
just a slide,
Yes,
just a slide
let's not
of
get into the very detailed ideas,
no,
of
no, no,
course.
no, no. I didn't want to do that, because I
Yes.
think that both Earthblood and Heart of the Forest are just like tiny slices that can show you how complex and deep the world is, and they are all of course very local stories, focusing on particular characters in a particular situation. And I think that's looking at the other World of Darkness games. That's what makes it so special, that you can craft your own chronicle with your own characters at the place you live, or at the places that you care about, and you have this depth of lore and mechanics and systems, like to make the story alive. So I think that both Heart of the Forest and Earthblood are just one of many stories that you would be able to tell when you have the the core book of the fifth edition. So I'm very excited about all the stories that we would be playing when the game comes out. Yeah.
After your writing for Heart of the Forest, I really wish to play War of the Apocalypse 5th edition with you one day. So I hope.
Yeah, I hope that would be possible.
Definitely, I hope that this is going to happen. So, what is next for Different Tales, and what is next for Heart of the Forest? What are your plans right now? What are you working on? If you can reveal anything with our audience.
Mm. This time between projects is a very interesting one, because we experiment with some ideas, and I don't think I can talk about them, because this is the moment when ideas are tested, and not all of them survive. So I'm not really sure uh, what will happen next. I know it will be interesting. We are watching very closely what the feedback is to Heart of the Forest, and how to use it in our future projects. And we are exploring some ideas,
Mm-hmm.
uh, um, but I think it's too early to talk about details. So maybe, in a few months,
Absolutely.
we could say something more, because at the moment it really depends on so many factors that we cannot, or don't have control over, as it is in game dev.
It
So
is. It is.
keep
Yes.
fingers crossed, and and I hope uh, we'll show you something interesting.
I cannot wait for that. And of course,
Yeah.
as for now, the game is available on PC, Mac, PS4, and Xbox. Have I missed anything? No. Is that.
No.
Yes.
And Nintendo Switch.
And Nintendo Switch, of course.
Yes.
So I still have one copy for PS4 for Americas and 2 copies for Xbox One. So for those of you guys who have Xbox One, I'm going to open a new raffle in the chat. This time, in order to participate, you need to write Rage. So if you have Xbox One and you want a copy of this game, we're going to draw 2 winners from this one. And the keyword for the chat members is Rage. So Artur, where can we follow you guys in order to get the newest updates from Different Tales? And of course, where can we submit our feedback after Heart of the Forest?
I think that the best way is to follow us on Twitter at Different Tales. I encourage you to follow us on Steam, because we keep a quite a vibrant community there also, and we post news on Steam. We are also on Facebook, so pick the social network of your choice. And as for the feedback, I'm reading all that you've been writing on the World of Darkness Discord, on Steam Forum, and you can also write on support at differenttales.com. So, or just talk to us on Twitter. So, as you like.
Sure, so guys, of course, you can go to discord.gg/World of Darkness. There is a Heart of the Forest room made specifically for this game down on the list, and you can write to Artur there and tell him what you think about the game. Be nice, because this game is good, okay?
Thank you.
No, I'm really, really happy that Heart of the Forest exists, and it shows another chunk of amazing Polish creators in the World of Darkness universe. After Draw Distance, you guys really did a wonderful game, and I'm very happy that Heart of the Forest is going to be, for a long time, I think, an introduction to this setting for many players.
Yeah, it was a privilege, and it was fun, like writing this game and working in this world, because we are all fans of World of Darkness, and yeah.
Definitely.
So it was very satisfactory.
And also, I think we can talk about this, but this also happened very quickly, right? How long was your game developed in total?
I think it was maybe half a year, or 9 months, depending when you start counting, but more or less half a year. yeah, it was lightning fast. I'm not sure how we pulled this off, but but yeah.
I remember this because I joined World of Darkness team 1 year ago, and this was the first game that I saw developing and releasing from the start to the finish in that time. So that was amazing fast, and I cannot wait. What next are you going to make? So I will be keeping in touch.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you so much, Artur, for joining us today. Thank you. People, you can follow Different Tales on Twitter. They are tweeting a lot of fun stuff and a lot of wolves and werewolves. So thank you so much, Artur, for joining, and I hope to see you here again one day.
Yeah, I hope so too. And thank you for having me here and for listening to us.
Thank you. Pet your cat from us.
Yeah, I will.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So guys, that was Artur from Different Tales. I'm so happy that we have such a great Polish representation in World of Darkness products, from Draw Distance and their Coteries of New York to Shadows of New York. And of course, Heart the Forest. I'm going to draw 2 winners of this Xbox giveaway, Xbox code giveaway that we have in chat right now. The very first one is going to be Where is Silverback? That's the first one, and the second is going to be that's the nickname. So you guys are going to receive the codes from us right after the stream, and I'm going to be sending them right after the stream. I'm going to write down these names for you guys, and I'm going to get into the next news in a second, making sure I have your nicknames written correctly. I do. All right. So we have one more giveaway happening soon. I will be also giving out, the last key is the PS4 key for Heart the Forest Americans edition, so for North America and South America. If you are from these regions, then the next giveaway is going to be for you. And as for now, let's talk a little bit more about Wraith, which release is coming pretty fast. If you haven't watched our latest episode of World of Darkness News, it's going to be on YouTube today. And this episode has Eric Odelhall from Fast Travel Games talking deeper into mechanics and writing and narrative of Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. And we also showed some of the gameplay on the last stream, the very beginning of the gameplay. It's available on my channel. That's a channel called Outstar. It will be linked down in the description of the video as well. So we had some more influencer content that was attached to the last week's marketing activities of Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. Some more people played the game already and really enjoyed it. There's also a lot of the very first look reviews from journalists, so you can also see what people are writing about this game online. And this week we are showing the voice actors, and I feel like this little video might be interesting not only because of the voice actors and the characters that they will be voicing, but also because they will give you a little glimpse on the story of Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife, maybe give birth to some speculations about what's going to happen in the game. I encourage you guys to think about it this way and see what the game has in for you. Let's check it out.
Maybe it's time for some truths about the rich and famous. All the debauchery you can stomach with the edges filed off.
So people actually live like this? So much for showing the truth about LA nightlife, Mr. Fancy Photographer.
You have a talent, boy. Your camera sees things the rest of us only dream about.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe the size of this place. It's crazy. And the people? You'll never guess who I just talked to.
Are you also here to bask in the glory of Howard Barkley? Not that he's here to meet you. Don't worry. He's cooped up in his sick room and will probably not die before giving you a proper welcome.
Yet again, exactly in the moment when I am playing Wraith content here on the stream, I am hearing some ominous laugh from outside of my door. I don't like what this game is doing to me. If you want to know more about the voice actors behind Wraith, The Oblivion Afterlife, follow Fast Travel Games, and also this month they have the coverage from Upload VR, which is one of the biggest VR outlets online. And if you want to get deeper into the behind the scenes of development of Wraith, The Oblivion Afterlife before its release, you can check out their coverage on Upload VR. You may expect some more stuff to come from them there. So, next news, guys, we're going to move on to more World of Darkness in general related topic, and that is, of course, World of Darkness stories. Thank you so much, guys, for those of you who have been following World of Darkness stories project so far and commenting on it, letting us know what you like about it. We are going to expand this project more, and one of the very first feedbacks that we have received from you was that you want to be able to read this on different platforms. Instagram and Facebook are platforms where not everyone has an account on, and we want to make sure that it's easy to read wherever you are, and that's why we actually went a little bit more, I'm not sure if Tumblr is that much of a new or modern kind of a social media, but it's something that is still very much used by a lot of Vampire the Masquerade and Werewolf the Apocalypse fans. So we actually went to Tumblr with it because you can read the stories without logging in, and and they're also shown in a very, very nice form, nicely readable both on mobile and web. So right now, whatstories.tumblr.com is open, and you can read all of the stories there. They're available there. Let us know if this makes the project more accessible for you, because I feel like it's going to be yet another very cool way for us to share these. And also, if you will go to Tumblr, you might see that there is a little page in there which is called Submit Your Story. We are going to open submissions for World of Darkness stories to our audience as well. They're going to be done partially in character in the future. We're going to announce more of that next week. So if you guys are eager to share your own stories with us and with the broader audience, then we will be getting in touch together through various platforms. As for now, Tumblr has that ability, but we're going to open more ways and more fun ways for community to get involved in these. And for those of you who haven't heard about this project just yet and haven't seen what the stories are, we're going to share an endless amount of free micro stories that are set in a World of Darkness universe, made in a way that simulates an interviews done with supernatural creatures. So imagine someone who gets the intel into the world of vampires, werewolves, wraiths, maybe in the future mages and changelings as well, and is able to get deeper into what exactly is behind the veil, what exactly is hidden by the masquerade. And vampires, werewolves, and other creatures are sharing their stories through these outlets and giving you those anonymous confessions from this world. Confessions which may lead to consequences for them, of course, but when it comes to that, you may want to wait for more stories out there. As for now, you can check out the stories which we've published so far on Facebook, World of Darkness Stories, Instagram, World of Darkness, and Tumblr, WOD Stories. So it's available on all three of these platforms. And we are also going to open a chat room on our Discord where we are going to discuss these and get your feedback regarding these, what you want from this project as well. So let us know if you're going to read more of these, and if you enjoy them so far. We are waiting for your feedback, and we are very happy that so far people are really enjoying this. I've also seen some fun translations, so huge shout out. I think What News in chat is translating these to German. Please let me know if that's right, but I've seen the translations into German, Polish, Portuguese, and Spanish so far. So I'm super thankful for people who are trying to share these to the broader audience by translating them. It's great. Thank you so much for doing that. So yeah, that's the update for the what stories. Of course, if we can do something more to make sure that they are accessible for you guys, then let's talk and let's see what we can do. And in the meantime, we're going to open the very last giveaway on the stream for PS4 code for Heart of the Forest for North and South Americas. So if you are from these regions, this is the giveaway for you. I am going to open the new raffle that is going to, that's a little spoiler in here, which is going to be opened by the keyword Pentex. So if you are going to write Pentex in chat right now, you have a chance to win a PS4 code for Heart of the Forest for North America or South America. So Pentex, that's for you. that's for you from a vampire like me. Anyway, next piece of news that I have for you guys is related to our latest dev diary, which we have shared last week. You asked us about the verbs, mostly because we shared that in defining and designing the clans for Vampire the Masquerade V5, we are focusing less on forcing our players to know some broader lore or some historical background of the clans, but at the very default level, at the very beginner level, we want them to know what these clans usually do, or what is the role that these clans may have in the coteries. And that's why we have made this huge infographic for Vampire the Masquerade clans. All V5 clans are there, and we are sharing it with you first. It's available right now on our website. If you go to worldofdarkness.com, and if you go to either the latest dev blog or to the About Vampire the Masquerade section, you will see the full graphic in its full glory. It's big, it's huge, and it has all the clans with their titles, their disciplines, their example portraits that portrays characters from these particular clans, banes, compulsions, and of course the verbs that define them on the basic level. Now, how to interpret these verbs and what exactly do they mean? They absolutely do not mean that you playing as Banu Hakim or Bruja, you need to, in particular, your character has to do these things. You do not have to fight as a Bruja. You do not exactly have to punish as a Banu Hakim. But especially if you are a very much experienced player, if you know a lot about V5 already, if you've read all the books, this is very much for the beginner players who want to get a hook into the game, and less for people who know exactly what all of these clans are about and want to play against the stereotype, which is absolutely welcome, and we encourage it. It's totally fine. Think about it this way. It's not that Banu Hakim have to discipline, judge, adjudicate, punish. It's if the player who wants to play a character who is fighting, protesting, resisting, opposing, this is the sort of a thing that the player wants to do, Bruja is probably the best choice for them. So this is something that is going to be a hook for the starting players. It's also the verbs in which the clans have the best abilities in order to execute them. So Bruja in particular, they do not really have the inherent skills which are very good for stealth or for let's say blood magic or doing magic. You can still play a Bruja character which does these things. It's totally possible, but by default Bruja are good at these things and Banu Hakim are good at these things. So that's why we put them as our defining verbs in the design, because this is very useful for people who do not know much about Vampire the Masquerade, do not know much about World of Darkness, and want to get this initial hook in. I was talking to my team today about the ways this can be used, and we imagined that in the future, once the conventions are open and once people will be able to play convention games again, this wonderful times, that would be really good. This could be laminated on the table as new players who have never played Vampire the Masquerade can approach the table and check it out and, hey, this clan speaks to me or this clan speaks to me. And we are really looking forward to getting people in using these these design principles, and also they are very useful for our licensees, our partners, people that we work with in order to make Vampire the Masquerade games and products. Of course, as you probably know already, there are multiple characters in our products which go against stereotypes, which break with it. But that's sort of like a next level. Once you get to know these basics, you can try to twist them and you can try to manipulate them in order to make the character the best for you. And yeah, we hope this is going to be useful for you. You can share it, spread it anywhere. Feel free to copy it from our website. Feel free to paste it anywhere. Please don't cut World of Darkness link at the bottom, which is the way to reach out to us if anyone will have any questions. But if you want to share it with your groups, with your folks, if you want to even edit it, then feel free to do anything you want with it. So let us know what you think about this, because I'm really wondering what is going to be your reaction, either experienced or new players, after you will see these verbs. So yeah, guys, I'm going to now roll the winner for the last giveaway we have, and the winner is Explosion Plays. Congratulations, Explosion Plays. I'm going to send you the codes right after the stream, and we're going to send the codes for all of the 4 winners which we had on the stream today. All of these codes are given to us by different Tales teams. So thank you so much, different Tales, for supplying these codes. And I hope you liked the interview with Artur. He's a great guy. I feel like they made a really good game. If you haven't played it yet, you totally should, because it's really a very good entry to Werewolf the Apocalypse, which is a good thing to do before we release Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition TTRPG that I cannot wait to play with you guys. So yeah, that'll be it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to see you as usual next week. As for now, I will try to survive the storm outside. If we get buried in snow, well, worst case, we fall into torpor, and that's okay. There are ways to wake up from that. Thank you so much for joining. Have fun. Don't get lost in the night. Goodbye.